Good morning and welcome. I am here with our team from Placer County showing you how to get hired with Placer County. I have Jed and welcome. Thank you so much for being here. We are excited to hear what you have to share.
Yes, thank you. Good morning. And you can hear me okay, Sarah?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for having me. As she said, my name is Jed Stevenson. I'm a human resources analyst at Placer County. Today we're going to be talking about the recruitment process at Placer County. And you do have my presentation, Sarah, right? There we go. Recruitment process overview, yeah. So we can go on to the next slide. So what we'll be talking about today is discussing current Placer County recruitment opportunities, eligible lists and what those are, the examination process and what type of examinations we have at Placer County, and generally how to navigate the Placer County recruitment process. All right, next slide. So Placer County is an employer of choice. What does that mean? It means that Placer County is a desirable place to work with benefits such as medical, dental, vision, and life insurance, as well as paid vacation, generous holidays, and sick leave. We also have a CalPERS retirement pension plan for each permanent employee. And so all those things together make Placer County employer of choice because all those things combined, they are quite rare in the workplace as far as I know or as far as I'm concerned. And Placer County is just a great place to work. A lot of work-life balance. We really care about our employees, that sort of thing. The Placer County workforce. Oh, sorry. Go back. Yeah. The Placer County workforce consists of 2,871 allocated positions. Approximately 2,500 of those are filled with permanent employees at any given time. So quite a large employer in the region. We are hiring all the time. We have a lot of employees. We can go to the next slide. So employer of choice, expanding upon that a little bit. Placer County has over 500 different job classifications, meaning 500 different jobs that you could do at the county in a wide variety of areas. Because we're local government and because we provide such a wide range of services to the citizens who live here, means you could find almost anything that interests you. From accountants to law enforcement to maintenance, business, even physicians, almost anything you can think of. So, I mean, we have something for everyone, right? It just depends on what interests you. What is your background, experience, and education? What do you bring to the table? Because chances are, no matter what it is, we would have a job for you and something that might interest you. Okay, next slide. So I want to go over a little bit about the job announcements found on our website, job.placercounty.com. That's where you can find all of our open recruitments. Sarah, can you do me a favor and just click on that link for me? I want to show you what it looks like. Yeah, sorry, you have to copy and paste. Sorry about that.
I'm good. I'm flexible.
Okay, so this is our open jobs page. If you scroll down, Sarah, you can see quite a long list of jobs that are currently being hired for in both the South Placer and Auburn area as well as the Tahoe area. So we're going to look at one in particular. Sarah, if you could click on Library Services Manager. So I just want to go through kind of an example of what a job posting looks like. Of course, we have the title on the top, and then the basic information such as the salary, what department this is in. This is library services manager, so of course this is in the library. We have the date that it opened and the date that the deadline, the filing deadline. This one you'll see is open until filled. It means it has no filing deadline. It is just what it says, open until the department finds a candidate to hire. You'll see the employment type. This one is permanent full-time. We also have permanent part-time and an extra help, temporary type position. You'll see the work location. This one is in Roseville. We also have work locations of the Auburn area and the Tahoe area. So scrolling down, we have sort of a little introduction to Placer County, what it's like to live here, what it's like to work here. And then the position information section gives some more detailed information about this particular recruitment. It'll talk about what to expect. It will talk about what sort of work you're going to be performing. And this section is really important because this is a way for the department to convey to the applicants exactly what to expect in this recruitment, what to expect in this position. Going on down, we have a section about Placer County benefits, which are excellent as far as as far as I'm concerned. But it gives some more information on what you can expect regarding benefits. It has a definition of what this job is. If this was a title that you had no idea or you were unfamiliar with, the definition is where you could find out, hey, what does this job do? And then that's expounded more in detail down below, where it says, what supervision does it require, and what are the essential duties of this job? What are some examples of what you'll be doing on a daily basis? Then we have the most important, I think, the most important section on this job listing which is the minimum qualifications. The minimum qualifications are, the standards, the experience, and the training that would be required that you would have to have in order to minimally qualify to perform this job. So a lot of times when I look at a job listing, I'll skip right to the minimum qualifications, think, okay, well, do I even qualify? If not, then, I won't waste my time. But if I do, then I'm more interested. I'm looking at the rest of the job listing. And please note too that at Placer County, we do substitute experience for education and vice versa. So for example, if a job requires a bachelor's degree, in a certain field, we would also consider 4 years of experience worth to substitute for that bachelor's degree, and the other way around, for a higher education substituting for experience. So just when you look at the minimum qualifications in a job posting, just because you don't meet the specific qualifications doesn't mean that you might not have extra experience that might qualify you. So keep that in mind. Down below, we have the knowledge, skills, and abilities. What knowledge and what abilities are you going to be using in this job? If there's some sort of examination that goes along with this recruitment, the knowledge, skills, and abilities section is a good place to kind of study, to kind of get an idea of what the examination is going to be like. So that's a good place to start for that. And down below, going on, we have more information. So selection procedure. This is telling you what sort of examination is going to the recruitment is going to have. This one is a training experience rating. And I will be getting into more about what the examinations mean later on. But at the very bottom of the job posting, you can see, who to contact for questions. Lindsay Bear is one of my staff. And so you can, contact her for any questions you have. And there are other analysts who run different recruitments. So there'll be different names here, but you're always welcome to contact HR if you have any questions, any concerns, any problems with your application as well. And then, of course, at the bottom is below that is a button to apply. So we can go back to the presentation, Sarah. Thank you. So one thing I wanted to mention about the job posting too was it's kind of your job as an applicant to describe exactly how your experience and your training fit with the job posting, fit with the requirements. If you don't write it in your application, we're not going to know. We don't know you personally, and so you can't really make any assumptions about like, oh, well, they'll understand that I have this experience, or they'll infer. Um, you have to write it in your application. I do see sometimes people, think that where they think, oh, they'll infer that I have this experience, and you have to be very explicit in what you bring to the table, what you have on your application, because all we have to go on is your application. So yeah, be sure to write in your application if it applies, definitely. We can go on the next slide. So kind of the recruitment process at Placer County. It starts with a vacancy. What happens when there's a vacancy? Well, one of two things. So we take a look and see, is there an eligible list in place? And we'll talk about eligible lists here in a moment. But is there an eligible list in place for this vacancy? Is there a list of applications of names that we already have? And if there is, great. Then we send that eligible list to the department that has the vacancy, and the hiring manager can, contact people off of that list, conduct interviews, and make a hire. If there's not an eligible list in place, then we're running a new recruitment, brand new, like on the website that we just saw. And so we make that determination when there is a vacancy. We also take a look and see if there's any transfer or PAL applications. And if you don't know what PAL applications are, it stands for Public Agency Eligible List. Basically, it means that it's people who work at other public agencies, maybe another county, maybe another city, something like that, who is doing the same job as the vacancy, and they want to transfer from their agency to Placer County. And so they submit this application expressing that interest. And if they are performing the same job, then they kind of rise to the top of the list, so to speak. And their transfer application can be considered for that vacancy. In addition, we also have regular transfer applications from other Placer County employees, either within the same department or a different department. When you get hired on at Placer County, you are free to submit transfer applications to other jobs or other departments. Maybe you think, oh, that department looks really fun, I'd like to work there. I'd like a different job. I don't want to leave Placer County though. I don't want to lose my benefits or whatever. You can do that. Maybe you want to do your same job, but you want to do it up in Tahoe. That's also a transfer application. Can you transfer? I'm getting a message here. Can you transfer from state to Placer County job? Yeah, I believe that would fall under the PAL application, the Public Agency Eligible List. It would be it would just have to be a similar, very similar job, and it would have to come from another CalPERS agency or an agency that is equivalent, I believe. I'm hoping that answers your question. Would you complete a PAL application if you're working for Sacramento County or apply as a new applicant? Yes, you would complete a PAL application for Sacramento County. I know Sacramento County is not a CalPERS agency, but it is equivalent, like I said. And also, if you okay, are there things you can do to rise higher on the eligible list after one has submitted an application, the deadline has passed? After you submit an application and the deadline has passed, there isn't very much that you can do to rise higher on the list, unless you are you have veterans preference points, for example. But the main way you're going to rank on the eligible list is because of the examination process, which we will get into in a moment. But that's all I can think of for that question. Going back to the PAL application question, if you go to our website, jobs@placercounty.com, there is a section there that you can read about the requirements for a PAL application. Yeah, so there's a button near the top of the page, and it says employees of other public agencies, and it has the requirements there. So I'd recommend that you take a look at that page and make sure you understand the requirements. Okay. Okay, so yeah, next slide. Thank you. So eligible lists. The Placer County Code defines eligible list as a list of names arranged in order of final ranking who have been qualified through tests for employment allocated for a specific classification. Basically, what it means is a list of people, a list of applications who are ranked according to their performance on the examination. And that are certified to the hiring manager as eligible to fill this job. So that continues on to the next slide, Sarah. So the eligible list, how do you get on it? It's a result of, like I said, examinations open to anybody for anybody who meets the minimum qualifications. So only those people who meet the minimum qualifications as defined in the job posting are going to be invited to complete the examination. And then your ranking will be determined based on that examination. Eligible list is a literal list. When I first started the county, I thought that the eligible list, getting on the list was more metaphorical. No, it's an actual list, just so you know. I'm getting a question here. Is there a way to know your ranking on the eligible list? Yeah, so in the email that you receive indicating that you are ranked on the eligible list, at least from Placer County, it will tell you what rank you are in. And there can be multiple people in each rank. And one thing about Placer County is that we're not required to interview everyone in rank 1 before we go to rank 2. The hiring manager receives ranks 1 through 5, and they are free to interview anybody in those 5 ranks. So just because you're in rank 5 doesn't mean that you're going to be passed over. And also just because you're in rank 1 doesn't mean that you're definitely going to be hired. They are free to interview anybody from those top 5 ranks. But that email you got from our office should indicate what rank you are in. Okay. All right, we can go on to the next slide. So like I said before, examinations. There are examinations, as with any civil service system that Placer County performs. Number 1 is written examinations. And when I say written, it used to be primarily in person. Now these are almost always online. So they are online examinations that you kind of have a window of time to complete. These are very popular, especially for jobs with a lot of positions, a lot of vacancies, a lot of applicants. We also sometimes hold oral examinations before a board of individuals. By far our most popular examination though is the T&E, the Training and Experience Rating. This basically is a supplemental questionnaire that you submit along with your application that we score, and that determines your rank, your ranking, your score. Because it's just submitted along with your application, it's it is fairly quick, fairly easy. We don't have to take extra time and have you do an online exam or anything like that. So for that reason, you'll find that most of our jobs have T&E exams. We also have performance examinations, for jobs that might have to do something, hands-on, in-person, sort of thing, which might couple with physical agility. Physical agility is basically a physical exam, performing a physical task. Mostly our law enforcement are ones that perform physical agility tests. We could also have a combination of any of these tests. We could have more than one. Like I said, frequently we'll have a performance examination along with the physical agility, and we could have multiple. So going on to the next slide. So the recruitment timeline. There we go. The recruitment timeline. Recruitments at Placer County are posted for a minimum of 10 business days or 2 weeks. A lot of times you'll also see ones that we saw earlier open until filled. They're open for quite a lot longer than 2 weeks. But it will say the deadline on the job posting. It will make sure that you are aware of when the deadline is. When all applications have been submitted for a recruitment, they are screened by us for the minimum qualifications. And that again is just to make sure that only those who are minimally qualified to perform the job are sent to the examination. This can take a few weeks, and part of that is because if you are determined that you do not meet minimum qualifications, you do have a chance to appeal that decision. You have a chance to provide more information or anything like that to explain why you believe you are actually qualified. And so you are welcome to do that. And we take those appeals very seriously. At the end of that period, at the end of the screening period, you are sent to take an examination if it's an online written examination, or of course, in the case of a training experience rating, you submitted it along with your application, so that doesn't take any more extra time. And then we score that examination, and we set the ranks based on that score, that exam. So on to the next slide. I briefly touched on this before, but actually I've said all this in just a minute ago, but I'll say it again. There's a rule of 5 ranks. So like I said before, the top 5 ranks are certified to the department to fill 1 vacancy. If there's an additional vacancy, if there's 2 vacancies, they'll get the top 6 ranks and so on. Each rank does not have just one person in it. It can have a range of people, those who scored the same score, for example. And like I said, whether you're in rank 1 or 5, everyone in those 5 ranks are eligible for the vacant position. They all can be contacted for an interview. The eligible list is active for a minimum of 6 months. And up to a maximum of 2 years. So that means that if you don't, if you're not called for an interview or you're not selected for this vacancy, um, the list can remain in place for, months down the line when a new vacancy might come up and you might get called then. This can mean that you don't get hired for, multiple months or quite a while. But this is also an advantage because, you know, if you're not hired for this vacancy, that's not the end. You might get called again for future vacancies and you wouldn't have to go through the same recruitment process again. So there's multiple chances for you to be interviewed. Okay. Sorry, Sarah, I'm running out of time. I just realized, but I wanted to briefly touch on interest cards. So if you go to the Placer County website, jobs@placercounty.com, there's a list of job descriptions that you can see. It's a list of all of our job descriptions, like I said, over 500 of them. And you can go through that list and kind of see which ones you're most interested in, which ones you think you would be qualified for. And if you click on each individual job description, at the top of that description, like it shows here, it'll be the title, obviously, it'll have the salary, and then it'll have a link here. Notify me when a job opens for the above position. If a job is not currently open right now, being recruited for, you can always sign up for an email alert right there for the next time that we are hiring. And so what I would recommend is that you go to the job descriptions page on the website, explore what you might be interested in. You can even filter by field, by type of job. And definitely go and sign up for alerts for the next time that we are hiring for those, so that you'll be alerted right away and that you can submit an application as soon as possible. That is all I have for you today. If you have any more questions, feel free to email our office, jobs@placer.ca.gov. And we can get you the answers to those questions, anything recruitment related. You're also welcome to, contact that email address for any questions that are not recruitment related as well. So if there's nothing else, that's all I have for you today. Thank you.